Welcome, everybody, to Scott County High School for tonight's 42nd District boys basketball showdown. The Frederick Douglass Broncos coming in with a record of 10-1. And they're even better than that in the district, where they are 1-0, undefeated against the 7-5 Scott County Cardinals, 2-1 in the district, winners of 6 in a row. Douglass has won 8 in a row, so something's got to give. I am Cal Oakes with my special guest tonight, Coach Jim McKee, here to entertain you. The Scott County Douglass broadcast. Coach, expecting a good one tonight, obviously. Couple of fine teams.
Absolutely, and as they interview different people, throughout the state of Kentucky, and coaches, out of 10 coaches and parents are really willing to do whatever it takes to make the very best effort for the games to be played safely, but mainly just for the games to be played. It's great to see the young men from both schools tonight to get the opportunity to come out and play and make memories for themselves and get out district top seed.
And we do hope that if you weren't able, one of the lucky ones able to get a ticket, that you're listening or watching us tonight, because it's going to be a good one. Scott County comes in, as we mentioned, having won 6 in a row, and those last 2 this week have been at home, so you've had a look at those. They've beaten both Sayre and Bryan Station. The Sayre game came right down the year, defensively especially.
Well, certainly anxious to watch Frederick Douglass play tonight. I've had the opportunity, to see all the other district teams, see Henry Clay, see Brown, see Sayre, and obviously see us. And, at this point, there's the old cliche in basketball that, anybody can beat anybody on a given night, which is certainly true. But, my first thought of seeing those 4 teams previously mentioned is very close.
Yes.
All very close to the same overall talent level, skill. Would not be surprised at all a game between any of those 4 that could go either way. Now, right now on paper, and looking at scores, it looks like Frederick Douglass might be a notch above those 4. So anxious to watch them perform tonight and see how they stack up against the rest of the district.
Yeah, these 2 teams played each other 4 times last year. It was an unusual situation. They had of course, the regular season series. Then they played in the championship game of the Toyota Classic. Then they played again in the championship game of the 42nd District. Douglass won 3 out of those 4, but the last laugh goes to the team that won the region championship, which was Scott County. So you want to be playing your best. We're getting to that time of year where you want to be putting it together, and both teams certainly are.
Well, I think something about basketball that's a little bit different, for example, than football, is, in answer to the region. And, that's worked out. There are countless examples over the years in multiple sports where, the district runner-up goes on and is able to win the regional tournament. And just reflecting back a little bit on last March, I really felt like, in my career as a coach and as a fan of high school sports, it just felt like the job Coach Glenn and his staff and our team did last March got to be up there in the top 2 or 3 performances by a sports team, really, in my lifetime. I mean, think about losing your entire starting 5, losing your head coach, roughly above 500 in the regular season. Then, district runner-up, and then to march through the 11th region tournament. Well, that was something that was really fun to be a part of.
And that's what we all talk about here in the state of Kentucky. It's basically an open tournament. Everybody's going to get their shot, whether it's in that district tournament, maybe get one of those 2 spots. And then if you catch fire during that region, anything's possible. And you're right. They were playing that's as good a run as I've seen out of a Scott County team, pound for pound in the past. They're kind of spoiled, blessed, whatever you want to say, with that group that you mentioned before. Those guys really fit the pieces of the right time last year, and this group seems to be doing the same thing.
Well, I've become a bigger fan, 10 times over, of EKU basketball than I've ever been in my lifetime. A lot of it has to do with your Twitter feed. I like Twitter, and so, we keep up with the games just through you. But, just here within the last 5 days, they played Belmont on one day and lose. What was the score?
They got beat by 15, 20.
They got beat, 15, 20, turn around on Monday, play them again, and win the game by basically the same count. So, that your shooting in the field, your ability to get hot from 3 really makes basketball a game where, there are going to be a few more ebbs and flows necessarily than there are, for example, in football. And in baseball and softball so often are dominated by the guy or the gal on the hill, by the pitcher. And so, tonight, obviously, Scott County needs to shoot the ball well. They need to take care of the basketball. They need to play within the framework of their offense and, see what happens.
And as you know, it's the same in football and basketball. It's true to a degree as well. You tend to go as far as your seniors take you sometimes, and this team has two that are playing at the top of their game right now.
Well, certainly Richardson and Grigsby have played well over the last several games. It's just been a joy to watch Chase the last two games. He's made 10 3-pointers.
He's 10 for 13 in the last two games. It's
right.
crazy.
And all of us that have grown up in Kentucky, even a guy like me who's a football guy. I mean, I grew up shooting a basketball too, and we can all remember, man, when you're hot, that rim seems huge. And so Chase is hot. So until that rim gets smaller, my thoughts would be fire away.
Keep shooting, son. Yeah. He's been doing this with a reduced bench, to say the least. They played 6 or 7 guys during most of this win streak. Heard there's a chance they might get Micah Glenn back in a limited capacity either tonight or tomorrow night, so that would help tremendously. It's different when you go into a game knowing it's going to be physical, knowing you're going to be playing a rival, and you got to watch out for the foul situation.
I really think Coach Glenn and his staff deserve credit for is, the situation that you just described. They've never used that as a crutch over the last several games. They've never the kids and say, well, we only got 6 tonight, guys. Go out there and do your best. I mean, there's a standard they feel like they want their kids to meet, and they've worked hard to help continue to have their kids meet that, irregardless of what the roster situation is. And so that speaks a lot to the character of the coaches and the players.
It's almost been a badge of honor. They had at one point they had 6 healthy players, but they're getting them back slowly. We mentioned Chase Grigsby has played back into the lineup, so it's the picture is getting a little clearer here, and this is basically a battle for the top spot in the district right now. And as you alluded, know necessarily what everybody's going to have going down the stretch. I think at least one of the teams, Henry Clay, might still be in a pause for COVID. So the team that wins it,
as exciting as it is you really, if Sayre beat Douglas, who looks like to be the best team right now on paper, would you be shocked? Absolutely. Gordon said there's no way that happened. No.
Not after seeing them the other.
I think really what happens is, it's a lot of all the pieces of your puzzle working together at the right time when it comes to the district tournament.
Yeah, I mean, we saw last year Henry Clay was pretty much the odds-on favorite going in. They had established themselves as the team to beat. They had Marquez Warwick, who is lighting it up this year at Northern Kentucky. He's the freshman of the year in the Horizon League. And they came in here and were a memorable game with Douglas. I think the final score was like 103-100 or something.
I was going to say that's one of the best high school basketball. It was a great high school basketball game.
Yeah, it was. Overtime, double overtime. It's what we get from the 42nd district on any given night, and it's what we hope we'll see something of that nature tonight. We're in the final minute here, getting ready to do the anthem, and we'll get you the starting lineups. I can tell you it looks like they're going to stick with what got them here with Jay, Andrew Wilhite, Jeremy Hamilton, Elias Richardson, and Nick Mosby. Your starting 5. That means Chase Grigsby, Isaiah Haynes will be the first ones off the bench.
And that's Coach Glenn's call, but now I get to be in the chair. Unless you're over 5, keep firing.
There's definitely a train of thought where I could see that is a good point. For Frederick Douglass, the man to watch is Deshaun Jackson. He's averaging 23.3 points per game. We saw a similar player. Bryan Station's best player was Jamarius Lindsay, and Scott County slowed him down the other night. We'll see what tonight with Jackson. We'll be back with you on the other side of the anthem. Back with you high above courtside here at Scott County High School as we are just about set to go. 47 have won their last two in the district to go 2-1. Douglas being introduced. Mari McMullen, number 5, averages 6.5 points per game. Julia Scarce, 3.9. A weapon for them on the basketball court as well. Number 11, Connor Haga. And number 24, the big man in the middle, Tyson Barrett, 12.3 points per game. And he's their leading rebounder as well at 9.4. Mentioned Scott County starters, the leading scorer, Elias Richardson, 15.1 points per game, but that's been ramped up to 22.6 over the last 5. Nick Mosby averaging double digits, 10.7. It's pretty balanced, though. Chase Grigsby, as we mentioned, a couple of 20-point games will build that average up. He's up to 9 points and 7 boards a game. J.Z. Middleton, 5 points. Andrew Wilhite, you coach him in football. You know, every team's going to have a player like that. His basketball stats are not going to go through the roof, but the things he does on the court, diving on the floor, just one of those glue guys that hold things together.
Well, and, when the season started and Andrew, sat down and said, where do I fit in this puzzle? He probably fits in somewhere where he doesn't make a big contribution. And so that would discourage a lot of kids. But, he didn't get discouraged. He hung in there, and he's done, just as you said, a great job. Guy. Not only does he play football, he plays basketball. He turns around and plays baseball in the spring.
And you mentioned EKU. When you talk about 3 sport guys around here, we think of Cooper Robb, and he's doing a tremendous job with that team that now has 20 wins down there in Richmond. Michael Marino, of course, the leading 3-point shooter in the OVC percentage-wise, and, of course, Coach A.W. Hamilton. So many links between this school and that school right now. They're going to be fun to watch as we hope they can make a run into the NCAA tournament in their last season in the OVC. Scott County won the toss and elected to receive, as it were. They will take the ball out. It is J.Z. Middleton starting at point. Hamilton up top. Back to Middleton. Douglas wearing the black uniforms with the orange numbers. Those will be fun to read. Richardson in traffic underneath. Misses the layup. Barrett with a rebound. Quickly out. Oh, and a missed dunk, but it goes down. Got the shooters, the dunkers roll, as it were. Connor Haga puts it down 2-zip. Douglas quickly down court. Mosby dish from Hamilton, driving good to tie it up.
Good pass right there by Jeremy. He's also been playing well.
Good instincts as he found his man. There's Jackson from the foul line, misses short. Rebound, Elias Richardson. Looking for Middleton, finds him. Little pressure defense that Middleton passes through. Richardson from the right elbow, rolls it off the rim, no good. Jackson rebound. Ball's on the floor, though. Wilhite diving, as we said, as if on cue. Barrett quickly gets bumped by Wilhite, and they're going to call the foul on the floor. 2-2, a minute in.
Well, one thing you could see right from the jump from Douglas, even after the missed shot, there's no retreat. They're not falling back. They're immediately putting defensive pressure on us.
Push the pace. Ball inside, partially blocked by Hamilton. Are they going to call a foul?
No, I think that ball's going to say Middleton was on the end line.
Okay, yep. He after the Hamilton block, Jay-Z tried to save it. Below us here, a little bit of an obscured view. Barrett dishes the ball to Haga. To Jackson, guarded by Wilhite. On Mosby, they trap him. Jackson's going to be the man of the hour offensively for Douglas. They had moments where they stopped him last year and other times where he just went off. They can't let him do that tonight. Bounce pass inside, kick out to Haga for 3. It's good from the left corner, 5-2 Douglas. Haga with all 5. Little head fake, loses his man, but he lost the ball as Jackson came away with it, and here come the Broncos. Jackson guarded by Wilhite. Haga.
Looks like we're in a man-to-man, but it also looks like we're certainly aware where Jackson is on the court at all times.
You definitely have to be. There is a wide open 3, no good. Rebound, Richardson tears it down. Julius took that one long off the back rim. Richardson from the left elbow, off just a bit. Rebound, Barrett. Barrett long pass to a wide open Haga. He's had 7 now, all 7 for the Broncos, the lead by 5. Quickly up to Wilhite. Juggled it, drives, strong off the glass, no good. Rebound kicks out to Richardson, and they will reset. A little bit of a slow start, similar to the other night against Bryant Station, down 7-2. They trailed in that one 13-4 before they dug out of the hole. Middleton now up to Haga. Drop pass to McMullen behind the back to Barrett. My goodness, showtime.
Might get a timeout right here.
Yeah, you're going to see Grigsby and Haynes go to the scorer's table and check in. Be the next best thing. Spin for Rich.
Needed those two.
Quickly up to McMullen. Nice back by Julius Scarce. 11-4. 4:38 to play first quarter, and that is a bad, unforced error. Turnover, pass out of bounds. We'll go back to the
2-2-1 half full court press. It's tough to beat that on the sideline. Typically the thought process is try to swing that thing and find the middle of the court.
A lot of the teams in Lexington do that. Scott County, a lot of dress rehearsal over the years playing against that. There'll be a foul out front. .4:35 to play first quarter. Frederick Douglass up with the ball underneath the basket. Kamari McMullen, deep three, back rim, bounces around, no good. Rebound Grigsby, dribbles behind his back a couple of times, and he's fouled.
Good job right there by Scott County on the out of bounds. Did an excellent job playing the play that Douglas had called, and then they missed a shot later in the possession. And here we go with the chance to cut it down a little bit.
It's the one of the trademarks coached by Tim Glenn. They're good on out of bounds plays, offensively and defensively. Grigsby thinking about the three. Looks like Douglas is pretty well aware of his ability lately. He bounces it inside to Haynes, stolen away, but a travel by Hayes as he could not catch the ball in flight and do anything without feet.
Well, and what you said is true. Leading up to 2 games ago, the scouting report probably didn't include Chase Grigsby's a great three-point shooter. And now, tonight Douglas is obviously very aware of him.
They've seen huddle or anything else. Middleton pops for 3. It is in out. Rebound. Mosby used a little leverage to get it. They're going to call him for the foul.
This is tough on me. I'm used to being in the stands, and when somebody fires away there, I want to say, get in there. Let's. You're not technically supposed to do that.
No.
Broadcasting, are you?
You have a subtle homer. We try our best. It's stolen away by Mosby. Nice pass to Grigsby. Wide open layup. He lays it in. Thought he was going to be at a bad angle there for a minute, but he got it to fall. 11-6, and another badly needed basket by the Cardinals. 3:30 ticking down now to 3:30 to play in the opening quarter. Back door again. Scarce. Nice pass from McMullen and a great finish. And Douglas making that play work a couple of times so far. Good shooting percentage for them. Haynes, another pass tip, but Hamilton recovers and gets it to Grigsby. Middleton to an open Mosby. Back to Middleton. Elias Richardson getting ready to check back into the game. Good. Grigsby was trying to tie up Scarce. Douglas came away with it and got their running game going again. Jackson with a 3, smooth as silk, and it's a double-digit lead. He got open. He hasn't been open much, but he found it in the left corner there. Hamilton to Mosby at the end of the press breaker, and there'll be a foul on Barrett. Mosby will go to the line.
Good job by Nick right there. Strong to the hole. Draws the foul.
What you got to do. This team has struggled from the free throw line mightily this year, although they may have turned the corner the other night, 10 for 11 in one of the 2 victories. Tough shooting night the other night. Don't think he scored at all. He's got. That's good news for him. Like to see him hit a 3 and get that confidence back.
There's Micah Glenn in the game for the first
time. Good to
time.
see Micah Glenn. He about 45 seconds of a game over at Western Hills. You hate to see that any point in the game, but especially in the last minute of one that's pretty well in the bag, and he's been out for the better part of 3 weeks now with the sprained MCL. They had another pause in there, so he didn't miss too many games. By Richardson. Mosby deflected the pass in the paint. Elias end-to-end gets it taken away by McMullen. Back come the Broncos. Himself in traffic, stripped by Haynes, knocked out of bounds by Jackson. And it's going to go.
I believe it's Douglas ball.
I think it's going to go to Douglas. You're right. So Jackson knocked it off of Haynes. Good play by arguably one of the top two players in the region. A lot of people talk about Lexington Catholic's Ben Johnson, but there's Jackson scoring again on the OB underplay. 18-8. Going to say Jackson right up there with Johnson in that conversation. Three-pointer by Haynes is no good. Rebound Jackson. Douglas on the run, trying to build on its 10-point lead. Connor Haga, airball three. Rebound Richardson. Grigsby to Glenn, drive.
Good move.
Yes, the knee looks none the worse for Ware there as he drives the right baseline for two.
That's the same thing I thought. First time ball in his hands, very aggressive to the basket.
You want to test it out and see how it flies. Look good to me. 90 seconds remaining first quarter. Cards down 8. Richardson guarding Scarce out front. Looks for Grigsby. Mosby on the wing. Back to Glenn. Things a little bit off right now. Now Glenn finds Haynes. Under a minute, first quarter. Quick drive by Barrett. He'll get fouled and go to the line.
He was able to get toward the baseline right there on
that first
Isaiah.
step.
Yeah.
Like lightning. Foul on Haynes, his first, team's fourth. 50 seconds remaining first quarter. Tyson Barrett, 2 points on the night. He averages double digits and 9 rebounds. Makes the first free throw. Barrett, part of that kind of the new look team this year. Jackson's the main piece that's the holdover from last year. McMullen played quite a bit as well. Barrett off the rim, no good with the second one. Mosby grabs. Grigsby pushes across the timeline. Floats it up there, and it's good. When you're hot, you're hot. He's got 4 tonight already. And they're within 7. Cross-court pass, always dangerous, but Douglas retrieves it. Haga, spin, puts it off the back rim, no good. Rebound Glenn. The Cards will let him shoot that shot. The rim a couple of times in this first quarter. Now Haynes drives to the foul line and pops short. Rebound Barrett. Douglas likely to take the final shot of the first quarter. Up 19-12. Directing traffic, takes the ball through the paint, gets it blocked by Grigsby. Glenn comes away with a rebound, and there's the horn. Your score after 8 minutes, the Broncos 19, Scott County Cardinals 12. So, slow starts have been a thing this year in the winning streak for the Cardinals, as we've seen a couple of times, Coach.
Well, 19-12, it's pretty obvious, and I'm sure you know this. You follow a little bit closer than that I do. But Douglas really wants to get up and down the court, wants to pace at all times. And, I think that hopefully, an old cliche, we've taken an early haymaker from them and, only down 7 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, they've held Jackson to 5. I say held, but it's on pace for 20. I think they would take that if they allowed him 20, since it's under his average. And you do at some point want to challenge the other guys to beat you. They've had a couple of guys step up. Connor Haga with 7 points for the Broncos. Been pretty balanced. 4 for Grigsby, 4 for Mosby, 2 for Richardson, and 2 for Glenn here in the opening quarter.
Boy, Chase really, he always has played hard. And that's one of the things that's fun to watch about him. But he's had, such good success offensively the last couple games that he's now got even more energy all over the court. That was a great move that he made a minute ago in traffic, to be so strong with the ball. When
Boy, his jump shot, if he gets any space at all, is just smooth. 22-12. Broncos get the first word here in the second quarter. Glenn to Grigsby. Inside, intercepted again. They were trying to find either Hamilton or Richardson. And down to Jackson. Douglas does not mind running. They hit the back of the rim with a 3 as McMullen, no good there. Rebound Richardson clears it to Grigsby.
No, and if you want to run and you're going to run, you just have to accept that sometimes, you might not get great shots, but that's what you want to do is push the pace.
Hamilton aggressive on the baseline inside, gets two, his first two of the night to cut it to 8.
You can see his confidence growing too, especially with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, offensively is where he's had to make some strides. He certainly gave them a lift defensively on the run to the region title last year. Jackson for 3 again, nothing but net. He has 11, and that's the Douglas lead right now, 25-14. Grigsby playing the point right now. Middleton on the bench. The other night they played those two guys together quite a bit. Wilhite to Grigsby. Deep 3. No good. Back of the rim. Jackson into the forecourt. Now he'll slow it down momentarily, guarded by Wilhite. Loses Wilhite. Kicks it for a 3 in the corner. No good. Rebound Richardson. Grigsby to Glenn. Way off.
Shot right.
He followed it, but could not get the rebound. As McMullen grabbed it for Doug. Now drives to the hole, backs it out. To Haga for the reset. 25-14, Frederick Douglass. 5:45 remaining first half. Jackson drops it to McMullen. Douglas, this is the longest possession they've run tonight. They find Jackson alone somehow, and he's going to make you pay for that every time.
Timeout, Scott County.
Yeah, you need it.
Right
a 30-second right here for Tim Glenn, as he's seen enough. Douglas doubling up now on the strength of 3 threes by
it's a big game when we've got Jared Peck here tonight.
Yeah, we've got all the media in the house now. It's quite a thing. I think there were some other TV outlets or broadcasting outlets that wanted to do this game, but we've got the exclusive rights, my man.
That's good.
Yeah, that's what we like.
I mean, I really appreciate the job you guys have done. When I'm looking for things to do, I've gone back and listened to some football games. And
we all need some entertainment right now with being shut in quite a bit.
Just kind of get your guys' take on, how you see what's going on in the game. And I'd say there are more fans out there listening to us than probably what we realize.
I think there are, especially a couple of the key football games last year. We saw the numbers from the Douglas game, from the Great Crossing game, and there were upwards of 2,000, 2,500. There's a 3-point attempt that rolls in for J.Z. Middleton. Front rim. Got the shooter's roll, 28-17 Douglas, 5 minutes left, second quarter. Timeout.
Absolutely. That's why you call that timeout, to break.
Jackson Hamilton, he'll pop from the foul line short, but right there, presence of mind to get the rebound. Douglas.
Oh, it's tremendous defense right there by Jeremy on Jackson.
Tylon Webb will go to the line. Yeah, you got to have somebody physical on him. They've switched up. Andrew Wilhite was on him for a while. You'll probably see Grigsby at some point, but Hamilton there on that possession.
Well, also, when you're guarding a guy that's that good with the ball in his hands, it's important not to get discouraged because he's going to score.
Yeah,
he's going to score some. And if he scores on you on one possession, it's important to go right back after him equally as hard on the next possession defensively.
He will get his points. There's no doubt about that. Webb hits both from the line, 30-17. Douglas, a better free throw shooting team this year than they were last season, 70%. That was sort of their Achilles heel a year ago. Richardson kicks it to Middleton. Hamilton in the corner for a 3. In and out and rolls in. Speaking of the shooter's rim, Jeremy finds one, and that's it's good to pick them up in chunks when you're down by a bundle. It's 30-20. There's another 3-point attempt for Douglas, though, and Webb is true from the left corner. 33-20. Still upwards of 4 minutes to go here in the half.
Possibly get Richardson going inside in the paint a little bit.
Yeah, he has been stymied to 2 points right now. Barrett's done a good job keeping him in check in the paint. His mid-range game has been stellar during this win streak. Mosby guarded by Barrett now. Finds Wilhite at the foul line. Mosby, I thought, might have shuffled his feet, but got away with it, but turns it over anyway. A tie-up. and it will go to Scott County. Turnover leads to another.
Little sidebar notes. Obviously, we watch the game and we're for the team, but it's fun to watch kids develop. You think about with Jeremy had taken that three.
No, never last year. Or certainly even the beginning of this. Webb, though, and one. And then every time they hit one, Douglas just runs down and scores 2 or 3. And there's a chance for another 3. And there's a chance for another 3. And that's 7 quick ones off the bench from Webb. Haga checks back into the game. Douglas has weapons. Jackson's got 14. But he's got plenty of help.
Important stretch here. We often first half and the beginning of the second half or quarters in basketball. Let's keep this thing down around the 10-point range.
Keep it manageable. I remember the Toyota Classic game last year. They just got behind by 20, 25, and it was too much of a hill to climb, even though they did get back into it in the second half. So you definitely want to keep it single digits. Middleton's been hot. He thought about it a little bit. Now he gets it to Hamilton. Middleton on the Cardinal logo, bounces it to Richardson. Barrett's done a good job on him, as we mentioned. He'll have to give up to Hamilton. Middleton, open 3, off the rim, no good. Mosby challenges for the rebound. Douglas for a foul, or say it went out of bounds. It will stay with Scott County.
We'll see. Now, you bragged on Coach Clinton's out of bounds play.
Comes down to the kids making it happen, and they have done it quite a bit. Here's Middleton. Fake the 3. The kids making it happen, and they have done it quite a bit. Here's Middleton. Fake the 3. Drove in the dish to Elias. That's good to get him into it. Space in the paint. That's 4 for Richardson. Back to within 10. We're going to call the foul on Wilhite. That's going to be a 1-on-1. 7th foul on the Cards. Only 2 on the Broncos. 2:41 remaining first half.
Yeah, you pointed that out. Game for Andrew.
Jackson at the line, 1-1. He makes the first, even 15 on the night. It's an 11-point lead for Douglas. In fact, it was in game 3 to Dunbar, 75-68. They've won 8 in a row since then. I saw them play Great Crossing the second game of the season. They get behind by double digits and roared back to win that one. An explosive team as Scott County is seeing tonight. Richardson drive, right baseline, and 1.
And that loss to Dunbar. Dunbar's got a good basketball team.
Yeah, they do. They almost beat Catholic last night. St. Henry in the final seconds. Challenge from someone else. Now it's not occurring to me who it was about a week ago. So they are not unbeatable, certainly. And Scott County proved that last year. On any given day, it's 5. Richardson made the free throw to get it to single digits, 37 with the rebound, and you just got to. Has hit a couple of threes. Grigsby's been quiet since the 4 early points. Good balance tonight by Scott County. Bounce inside to Richardson. He spins from McMullen. Can't get it to fall, though. Rebound to Haga. Quickly finds Jackson. Mr. Jackson from the top of the arc. He was on the line. This time, they'll give him 2.
Was a good player.
Tell you what, I think he's a D1 player. There's going to be another and 1 situation as Jeremy Hamilton at the rack.
I actually thought that Eastern Kentucky.
I think you're right. I think they offered him. I would not be brokenhearted at all to join that rotation down there. That would be something. Basically, that whole team will be coming back next year. Of course, in the NCAA this year, the whole team's eligible to come back for everybody if they want. This is a freebie year, even for the seniors due to the COVID situation. Free throw, no good for Hamilton. Rebound to Douglas. Yep, Stairs traveled there. Picked it up and tried to dish it and got called for the walk. 1:16 to play in the first half. Scott County down by 11. Like to see them make a little run here, as you said. It's kind of crucial to get that confidence going in the locker room. Bounce pass inside is stolen away by Mr. Webb. He only had 10 points on the season. Back to him, and he'll reset to Jackson. Last minute of play in the second quarter. Tied up.
They're going to call foul.
Are they going to get? No, they are going to get Milton on the foul. And that will send Webb to the line.
41-30, 43 seconds to go in the second quarter. Douglas up over Scott County.
That is it. Trying to pad the lead is Webb. Makes the first. He'll get another. Halftime, we'll try to get you a couple of out-of-town scores, as it were. The Georgetown College football team is playing in Tennessee tonight at Cumberland University, as Webb makes the second here. 4 for 4 from the line. In this quarter, he's got 9, almost matching his total for the season. 13-point lead, Baker's dozen for the Broncos. Scott County hasn't played badly on the offensive end. They have just not been able to slow down the Douglas Express. The freight train is off the rails. Grigsby picks up his dribble, finds Middleton, who juggles it. 18 seconds to play.
Probably go one shot right here now. That we're
going to try. You can't get it stolen away here and let Jackson get a dunk. That would be bad. 8 seconds, 7. Grigsby drives to the left corner, and now he's trapped. He will throw cross court to Haynes. Haynes will take the shot at the buzzer. And the Cards will go to 43-30.
You know, the game's just had a little bit of a feel where Douglas, you feel like Douglas has been in control.
Yeah, they have from the get-go. You're right.
You know, we've never really had the opportunity at this point to settle down on both ends and get into a good flow. We've had a spurt. You know, it's important that we get settled down and get into a really good flow coming out to start second half.
Got them to within 9. That 3-point play by Richardson, I thought might fuel something half, but just did not happen. Deshaun Jackson's the key. He had 13 in that quarter, 18 overall. And they've got to slow him down. Of course, we mentioned his average of 23.
You know, you brought up something in the so hopefully you can dig around there and get us a report on Georgetown College football.
They are up 7-0 in the first quarter. They have scored first. I can't tell you how. With 8:19 remaining, they are in the end zone.
You know, just so many connections from Scott County High School to Georgetown College. You know, our maintenance director, Dwayne Ellison, coaches football over there. And, you know, we've got.
How many players have you sent there over the years?
Well, I don't
have the 30-something.
Yeah, there is. You know, we've sent a ton of kids there. You know, Coach Crum, exactly the same time.
Yep, 25 years. Huh?
You know, he was the head coach for the first time in 1997 at Georgetown College. And, you know, I was fortunate many years ago, long before, you know, two of Coach Cronin's sons were our quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And he just does a phenomenal job, not just from a wins and loss standpoint, but, you know, just his overall professionalism and the manner in which he links directly with them. I guarantee you they're all above board.
He's a class act. He's just his demeanor. I'm sure there are times when he's the typical, you know, yelling, screaming, stomping football coach, but he's just so composed. I think he's one of those guys that lets his assistants do a lot of that stuff.
Well, it's easy to support somebody like that. And,
yeah.
You know, that's why I asked you earlier, have you heard anything about Georgetown College football? And, you know, that's because I think we're just curious to see, you know, how they're doing tonight. You know, you brought up something earlier about, you know, all the kids in college who have, you know, basically been given a free year.
Yeah.
You know, I can speak from my own standpoint, just, you know, with 2 of my boys playing college sports right now, you know, and what's happened is, you know, that while that certainly is understandable, it's crowded up rosters everywhere. And with what you now are seeing is a little bit of a trickle-down effect. And I don't know if you followed it this week. I know you probably have. But, you know, there's a billing that would give all students K through 12 the opportunity to go to whatever grade they were in again. Might be second grade. Might be.
Now, are they going to put an age limit on it is what I saw or something?
the 19-year-old August 1 date is going to remain in effect if this passes. And it hadn't passed yet. There's still several. The 19-year-old rule would remain in effect, but if grade didn't impact you and didn't cause you to quote unquote age out, then you could do that. So
wow,
that would be interesting for sure.
Yeah. I think it probably wouldn't affect as many to have their college future lined up and have plans in that regard, but it could certainly have an impact on sports.
It's just my main reason for bringing it up.
Yeah.
That it's been such a different time. It's a time that we all underestimated. I know, we're about on the 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, the 1 year anniversary of 15 days to
we went down
flatten the curve.
To Galvin's. Well, after Scott County won the regional basketball tournament last year, and there were friends in there, and it broke either on somebody's phone or something. They said, "Hey, man, they canceled the SEC basketball tournament," and I was like, "What? They did what?" And then you think, well, it's really been a very challenging time across the board, athletically, academically, for school leaders, and the same for people, out there in the work world outside of public schools.
I mean, you're the parent of a senior that had his spring season taken away from him, and so I can understand the passion that makes some parents, some politicians, whatever it is, push for that sort of thing, because I get it, the emotions that play into it. But I do think you said it's caused a log jam at the college level, and I think it would maybe even be more so at the high school level where there's more kids playing.
Right. Well, and that's what would happen if you have massive amounts of kids that do decide to do it. Then you're going to the log jam trickles downhill. Well, what do you think the keys are coming out in the second half?
Hey, number one is number one. The guy jersey and the orange number one, Deshaun Jackson, who has 18 points. He's hit 4 threes. I don't think he's missed many shots. I don't know, what does that say he is?
Well, I think that's, I was going to say
6 for 9 overall.
The first thing that jumps out is, 57% from the field from the first half, 50% from three.
Sayre shot 70% in the first half the other night, so 57 is an improvement.
But, you think about a landmark in basketball,
that 50%.
Yeah. And as an when you look at it from an offensive standpoint, if somebody tells the coach before the game, hey, you're going to shoot 50% above, he's going to say great.
Yeah,
and from a defensive standpoint, hey, you're going to hold the other team to under 50%. So they've really shot the basketball well. We've got to find a
baseline drive a couple of times, and Scott County's managed to hit some open threes, but by and large, they're not getting that stuff in the low post that they've managed against the last two district opponents. So.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, right now Richardson's 3 for 7 from the field. 1 for 1 from the foul line, has 7 points. Grigsby 2 for 4 from the field, has 4 points. So we have 7 points out of our two seniors, and we compare to where we've been with them, during this stretch of 4 or 5 games where they both played so well. Hopefully both of those guys can come out and have big second halves.
I think maybe you've got to gamble a little bit and run a second or a third guy at Jackson and make one of these other Broncos beat you. They do have some guys that are capable. Haga hit a 3, Webb hit a 3, but by and large, you just can't afford to give Jackson much space.
No, and he's such a nice-looking young man. He's bigger and stronger and equally as athletic as anybody on the court.
He looks like a college player.
He really does, yes.
Playing against high school kids. Every time I've seen him in the past 2 years, that's what I've kind of about him, and he's on a different level for sure. So it's going to be interesting. They've faced deficits like this against Douglas before. As we mentioned, they lost 3 out of 4 last year. In one of those games, I can't remember what the deficit was. It was 24, 25 points, and they got that one back to single digits, and it became a foul shooting contest, and Douglas pulled away again. Well, this game kind of feels like that.
For lack of a better cliche, we've had a couple runs, but we really never had a run in the first half where we had a point run.
No, back-to-back baskets was about it.
Yes.
So sometimes it has the longest run for each team on the bottom of the score sheet there. I don't know what it says, but SC's longest run was 6-2, so you're absolutely right. They have not strung together more than 2 in a row.
Well, they're going to do it.
They're gonna have to do it
right now.
They're gonna have to do it right now. Let's see if we got any news from Georgetown College. We will go over the scoring before we get started here in the second half. Just want to see if we've got that out of town score. Still 7-0 from what I can tell.
Go Tigers.
The only other game being played in town tonight is a girls' game, Great Crossing versus Nelson County. We do want to mention tomorrow night, Battle of the Birds 4, Battle of the Birds 2 for this year, this basketball season. We'll be back right here at Scott County High School. I am assuming I will have Derek Varney side by side tomorrow night. We're glad, Coach, you could fill in tonight. We've had a few fill-ins over the years, but we appreciate your contributions on the Scott County side.
Well, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but, tomorrow night will be fun. I'm assuming it's a triple header.
Yeah, I think so. You wish, and of course the crowd will be basically what we see tonight, and just right now it's just something we can't have. But last year that environment was so good with the 2000. It
spoils you, doesn't it? When you go to those kind of games,
yeah,
you just think, man, I wish I could recreate this every night.
Every once in a while, the picture will come up on my social media memories or the video clip of that first, in December. You just miss it so much, but we'll get there again. I pray by the time August rolls around that that'll be the case, especially at some outdoor
I'm
events.
Selfish, people don't like to admit to being selfish. I am, and you look at things from your perspective, and gosh, I do say that in the back of my mind that when we start football in August, hopefully we can be back to some. Over the scoring real quick before we
real quick, like we said, Jackson with 18, 6 for 9 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3-point range. Tylon Webb, he's the unsung hero. It seems like when you're down in a game like this, there's always one kid who jumps out that probably wasn't on the scouting report, and he's got 9. Connor Hager with 9. Julius Scarce with 4. Tyson Barrett with 3. He's also got 5 rebounds to lead the Broncos. Balanced on the side, Jeremy Hamilton with 7. Elias Richardson Middleton with the 2 threes for 6. Chase Grigsby with 4, and Michael Glenn with his first 2, as we said, in about a week since returning to action. 6 steals off 7 turnovers for the Cardinals that they have forced. They've only made 6, so that hasn't been a factor. Backdoor play, almost a dunk, but the pass was too strong, and Mosby recovered. So they gave away. That's as good as a turnover right there, and Mosby will pop a 3 to get within 10. I mean, you like to see that. He hasn't hit one in a couple of games. Nick getting off the schneid a little bit, hopefully.
Need to get another stop right here. Pick up our defensive.
Hamilton will help now. The drive, the kick to an open Jackson for 3, short. They did close out well on him, and Wilhite got the rebound and will draw the foul as Barrett came.
Order, got a 3 coming out the gate. Get a stop. Let's get this thing into single digits on this possession.
Andrew Wilhite just got intercepted by Jackson, was looking for Hamilton. Jackson with more than a Euro step, missed the dunk, lost the ball on the way up, steal by McMullen. And nope, Barrett gets the second chance, nope. So they're doing some favors here, missing at the rack. That's 3 close range misses. Middleton picks up his dribble, gets it to Hamilton. Mosby in the corner. I was thinking he might shoot one again. Well, had it knocked out of bounds, it will stay with the Cardinals. Good time to fire away.
That's what I was cheering for.
He's the kind of kid, when he's hot, he's hot.
Pull the trigger from 3 right there.
Middleton will take the inbounds pass. Fine. Wilhite back to Middleton. He will shoot it from there. Same spot Mosby was just in. No good. Rebound Jackson. Here come the Broncos. Long pass to Scares, touchdown. 45-33. 3 and counting, third quarter. Middleton trapped in the corner. He'll finds Mosby at the half court logo, but he travels.
Just a little bit of a hard time handling the basketball right there.
Yeah, so much athleticism on that press.
Yeah, I'm impressed with they're well coached in the standpoint that as soon as the ball comes off the rim, we get a defensive rebound. There's 0 retreat. They're immediately in defensive mode.
They've got themselves a new coach this year, and Jay did a good job the first 3 seasons there. Guided them to the 11th region tournament last year in the semifinals, and there's a multi-sport star. He's got 9. Quickly pushing through the pressure and getting it to Richardson for an easy dish. 48-35 though. It's right now. Floater from McMullen is good. And when it's going your way, it's going your way. They've put 50 up. Now the scarce. It was kicked by the Cardinals.
And, that's obvious philosophy. They give up the easy layup here on the other end. But if you're going to press all the time, you're going to give some of those up. And you can't go away from what you believe. You give up an easy basket. So, to give them credit, they're out on their philosophy this whole game, that's for sure.
Douglas calls a timeout to talk it over. They are up 15.
.5:41 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, as the lead has not shrunk, it has opened up a little more. It was 13 at the half, and now we're at 15. Looking for another Georgetown Cumberland update. Nothing to this point. We're going to assume it's still 7.
Man Connor down there on the bench. Just shout out
Connor. He doesn't have the red suit on tonight. He's got the UK hoodie.
He's discouraged right now. You can tell by his body
tell
language.
He's ticked off. He doesn't have his chart in front of him. He's usually charting something.
Well, he always, holds an iPad for us during our games, and you say, Connor, and he sprints right to you.
Right there.
Gives you that iPad.
Inbound play. They got it to Barrett. He got it blocked twice. Hamilton comes away with the second one. Good defense by the Cards after the timeout. Middleton thought about the three, gets it to Grigsby. Grigsby directing traffic.
Richardson working hard inside to try to get the ball.
Yeah, he just can't get away. He gets to the foul line, top of the key. Nice little fadeaway three. He tried to draw the chance for the 4-point play. They weren't buying, but he's got 12. He's been so consistent lately. 5 straight 20-point games, well on his way to maybe another one tonight. And they need him in bunches now, down 12. Cards need a nice little drop from Mosby there to give it up and get a better shot.
Richardson at the line for 2. 50-30, 43 to go in the third quarter.
Richardson was the man at the line the other night, missed the first, but made the second against Sayre to break the tie with 2.6 seconds. I think he did too. I think he might have been 3 for 8 in that game, but he made the one that mattered. It was that was a back and forth game, and they were chasing Sayre much of the night. He makes both here. He's got 7 in the quarter to match his first 50-40. Back to within 10, 4:38 to play third quarter. A little lean from Mosby, and they're going to call him for the hand check. That's Mosby's second foul, first for the Cards of the half. After they were in the bonus, or put Douglas in the bonus pretty early there in the second quarter. Jackson went and got it. Now it's stolen away by Grigsby momentarily. Call him for a foul, as Hager was there as well. Seemed like a 50-50 ball.
I'd say depending on if you're for the Broncos.
Yeah, it's probably a coin flip there. Grigsby will get his second foul. Nothing we think is going to change anything anyway. 4:14 to play third quarter. Julius Scarce, step back. Good man. Feathery touch. Night back to a dozen. 52-40. Under the halfway point of the third quarter. J.Z. Middleton up front. Grigsby thought about one of those deep threes. Now he looked like he was going to give it up to Mosby. Side to Hamilton and an and one opportunity. They tried to draw the charge to no avail, and Jeremy made him pay. He'll have a chance to get into double digits with the free throw here.
And Jeremy's a physically, he's playing to his. He's a physically strong kid. He went, you all oftentimes hear people talk about going strong to the basket. That's exactly what he did right there. Let's finish off this 3-point play and not.
Misses at front rim. 52-42 through 3:30 to play here in the third quarter. Jackson drawing a crowd, rightfully so. Scarce with a three. Georgetown from the right corner, left corner rather.
We're hanging around, but we've just never been able, for example, to get it into single digits. We had it back to 10 right there. Up strong.
Inside Hamilton from Middleton. Hamilton with back-to-back baskets for the. Like you say, there have been interruptions in those runs every time. 55-44. Jackson for three. Good. Hamilton gets the rebound. Up ahead to Mosby. Dangerous pass, and he traveled. He was thinking about he was maybe going to be over and back, and then he shuffled his feet.
Yeah, he was a little bit unsure right there coming down.
He had to catch the ball and then turn the other way. It was a tricky spot. Turnovers have been costly a couple of times as the Cards trying to get that run going. I'd like to see them get it down to 6, 8 going into the fourth. Give yourself a puncher's chance. Jackson, left corner, drives the baseline, picks it up, kicks to Scares. He's been red hot. He'll try another three. Yes.
Man, he's on fire.
My goodness.
What's he got tonight?
17. He's got 10 this 14. I'm sorry. He's got 10 this quarter. Middleton, deep three, no good. Getting to the largest lead of the night here as Haga run makes it a 16-point margin. He's in double digits. Seems like everybody is now for the Broncos. Under 2 minutes to play, third quarter. Just a high degree of athleticism. Scarce with the steal, finds Haga. Great presence of mind. Haynes will stop the foul. I think it was on the floor.
You know what they did right there, on the pick and roll. The guy that's on the roll guy comes off, and they were able to double Grigsby right there and get the ball away from him. It's important for our guys. Right now, I know you're frustrated. I know you don't want to be down 16, but let's keep banging.
Yeah.
Let's keep battling. Let's go as hard as we can and try to, give ourselves a chance.
He has 14 on the night to lead the Cardinals. Hamilton with 11. Connor Haga at the line. Missed both of them. Haynes to Richardson to Grigsby. Grigsby over the top to Glenn in the corner. Gets it inside to Richardson where he's dangerous, but he's fronted and backed by the Broncos. They'll call a foul on Jackson.
Yeah, obviously they're aware that, Richardson has scored a bunch of his.
Good job at stopping the two things that have sparked the other two district games for Scott County this week. Richardson posting up and Grigsby getting space on the perimeter. Haynes getting challenged, scrambling for the ball. Now he tries to bounce pass and is intercepted by Jackson. Jackson almost lost the handle, but finds Hager in the corner. Short, but they chase down the try three, and it's good. Largest of the night, 19 points. Douglas Broncos, 63-44. Glenn quickly, his progress stopped at the right baseline. He dishes to Middleton. Corner three attempt for Haynes is no good. Fighting for the rebound is Glenn, but he's going to get called for the push coming from the other side.
Over the back right there. But I think one good thing we can say about Micah, just, like his aggressiveness right there, he looks to be 100% for me. And I know from a coaching standpoint, well, let's call the last 50 seconds.
Yeah, but his mobility is decent. I'm going to call it travel there.
From a coaching standpoint, when you have a guy that's out with an injury, you come up with your power substitution pattern is now with him back healthy.
Yeah. Saw maybe Jay-Z sat a little bit early when he made his first appearance, but then he hit the 2 threes, and it was hard to keep him out of the lineup. So I think it's a happy problem to have when you get 7 or 8, especially once Isaiah Haynes gets back into a rhythm shooting the ball, and Mosby. They're going to have a lot of weapons. Bounce pass inside to Richardson, picks it up. He is double teamed again, finds handles this quarter. Seems to be a point of emphasis coming out of the locker room for the guy. 23.2 seconds remaining. Douglas trying to build on this 19-point lead with the final possession, most likely, of the third quarter. Cards across the timeline, down to 5. Time's up, and Middleton will drive. Can't get it to fall. Haynes tried to get the tip in to no avail. 63-44 is your score with 8 minutes to play.
Hamilton's going to check back in for Scott County. As you said, down 63-44.
Yeah, it's a big
And
chore
I've been
to dig
impressed
out of
with
that.
Douglas. You know, I mean,
Oh gosh.
you know, I think you've got to, you know,
Tip your
give them-
hat.
yeah, you got to tip. They've shot the ball extremely well. They're aggressive with their defensive pressure. Got any updates on
Third, fourth quarter break. I'm going to go to the Cumberland site because my friend Jenny Elder has not posted anything in the last 53 minutes.
a guy named Herschel Moore was the head football coach at the University of Cumberland, Tennessee for a long time. You know what he's known for, don't you?
What's that?
Wing T guru.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's a big-time wing T guru.
At the half, Georgetown 10, Cumberland zip.
Well, Coach Housekeeper and the guys on the
You gotta be
defensive side of
happy.
the ball got to be happy with that.
The Phoenix coming into that one 0-2. The Tigers 1-0.
Now, Scott County alum Philip Garner got his first carry for the Cumberland University.
He's done
in
nice
their
work
second
on
game.
special teams as well.
Great job for us in our off-season program, playing baseball right now and lifting weights. Looking for him to have a big year next year for us.
Great crossing, girls trailing Nelson County. Nelson County at the start of the third quarter, 29-25. It's a good matchup with a team from, I think they're down maybe the 5th region. I can't think which part of the.
Bardstown, Kentucky.
Yeah, that. Yeah, so.
Won high school and won the 1996 4A state football
Then they
championship.
split with Thomas Nelson,
Yes.
and there another. They got a couple of schools there, so it's a.
Bardstown Independent, and of course, the Bardstown Bethlehem.
They got a couple of schools there, so it's a.
Bardstown Independent, and of course, the Bardstown Bethlehem.
Haynes can't get the 3 to fall.
We'll get a foul on 2 right
There'll
there.
be some
from Douglas.
contact. It'll stay with the Cardinals with 7:35. They're calling out Georgetown. Let's see what the Georgetown play is. It's a three-point attempt from Glenn that's no good. Rebound, Wilhite. Stays with the Cards. Haynes, a fadeaway. Tried to draw the contact. Doesn't get anything. And Jackson will come away with the rebound.
Awesome play right there. Exciting.
You got to love the energy, and sometimes that's enough to give you that run that you need. But there's
Awesome play right there. Exciting.
one to fall. It's his first point since the first quarter. He's got 5. Height across the timeline to Glenn. Right now, it's 4 juniors along with Grigsby and Hamilton. Glenn for 3. Can't get it. A little strong, but chases his own shot and draws the. Nope. It's going to be on Douglas.
Good job.
So on Barrett is third.
There. You know, you oftentimes that's something you hear from fans in the stands.
Follow your shot.
Follow your shot.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Worked right there for us.
Yep. Inbound to Haynes. I'd like to see him hit a shot or two here. Get some confidence going. Grigsby, he just isn't getting much space out there. His attempt to pass is blocked. He'll go back and chase it. Glenn will retrieve it. 6:16 to play. It's a 19-point deficit. Inside, Haynes, baseline jumper is good. His first 2 points of the night.
And he does. You know, he needs to regain some confidence, and good to see him knock down that mid-range jumper there.
Richardson getting ready to check in for the final 5:55, along with Mosby. Jackson drives left. First Aiden Ferguson. Going to get a 30. Tim Glenn wants to talk it over. They still trail by 19 with 5:40 to play.
Well, you know, that's something that Coach Glenn and his staff do a good job with. And, you know, all good coaching staffs do. You know, every moment is teachable. and you want to get the absolute maximum you can get out of this last 540. But you got to turn around and do it again in 24 hours.
Yeah, and that's going to be another emotional game. What it means to the kids.
Well, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Just from a kid standpoint, we won't be able to have that huge crowd here tomorrow night. But you think about 12, 15 kids on each freshman team, each JV team, and each varsity team. You're looking at 70, 80 kids that are going to get the opportunity to play high school basketball tonight in our town. I mean, I'm going to come for all three games. I want to see our freshmen and encourage those guys, and then watch our JV and our varsity.
I think right now we can all say what we will about having two schools, but you touched on it. How so many kids getting opportunities in all, and just brings more notoriety to our fair city. 5:30 to play. This has been night to this point. They have led it just about for the duration. In fact, it might be a wire to wire. I can't remember if we ever had I think so. There's been one tie, so maybe 2-2 was the only point that it was not a Douglas lead. Cardinals, as it went off of Ferguson. Douglas has done a good job defensively, taking away. Right to Grigsby. To Mosby. Mosby way off the glass. Rebound Wilhite, though. Offensive boards. Grigsby for three. No. Wilhite trying to find another one, but Jackson got it. It was just too strong off the rim. Jackson fade away. Hasn't missed many, but he missed that one. Richardson rebound. Grigsby up with it. On the floor as it was knocked away by Ferguson. Now it's tied up, 4:21 to play. It'll go the other way to the Douglas Broncos.
Middleton checks in for Scott County.
Jay-Z.
Frustrating night.
He just hasn't had the space tonight. Boy, it just seems like you're playing 5 against 6 or 7. Douglas has two guys on the ball wherever it goes, and now inside to Barrett. They're just so quick. 69 to 48, 4:05 to play. Middleton. Scott County just trying to run some offense right now. I think the reality is setting in that the win streak may be ending. They throw it away. Stolen by Tyleek Maxwell. Maxwell will try a three. He'll get fouled, go to the line as Hamilton bailed him out. Clock stops with 3:42 remaining.
Well, it's been a great win streak. I mean, we've had a lot of win streaks over the years at various different levels in football, and
for sure
they all come to an end.
Yep.
I always just say, hey, it's the opportunity. We got to start a new one tomorrow. Next game we got to start a new one. Got to get back after it.
Well, last year's team basketball, they didn't win more than 4 in a row at any point. It was an up and down season, as you mentioned. They struggled to get to the 500 mark at the end. Had a pretty good run in the final couple of weeks, but you're not judged by your record as much as you are what you do when March rolls around. So it's a little different in football because you only get to play once a week, and you have to stew over it for a whole week after
the week. If you lose, you're right. You got 7.
Up all night Friday night. Breakfast doesn't taste as good Saturday morning. We've got a foul to stop the clock on Douglas. So it'll be 23 with 3:30 to play. It'll be against the Warhawks, Battle of the Birds. Great Crossing coming in with a 7-9 record. Scott County, barring a miracle here, will drop to 7-6.
I haven't had a chance to watch Great Crossing, our one game against them, but it looks like they've had some really close games here
That was
recently.
probably their worst game of the season, that first one. But yes, they have come around. Took Madison Southern to overtime. They pulled one against Western Hills the other night. They went undefeated in their district, which you always want to do. It's, I think I don't think I'm talking out of school to say the 41st is not what the 42nd is, but
well, your competition is your competition,
right? You got to in front of you, and they've done a nice job the past 2 years. That improves them to 10-2 overall, and 6 of those wins have been by 6 or fewer points. So they have a knack for pulling those games out. Barrett beats the pressure for another easy layup, a little half-court trap that they just passed their way out of.
Good
floater by Andrew Wilhite gets on the board. Everybody has scored, all 8 guys in the lineup tonight, as Wilhite adds his name to the book. Something to grow on in a tough night. Rebound, Richardson up ahead to Hamilton. We might get another dunk. I don't know. Nope, just a foul. He'll go to the line. Want to thank our sponsors while we got a chance. Bluegrass Orthopedics, Burger King, Galvin's, Greens Toyota of Lexington, Georgetown Community Day, Time to Shine Car Wash, Scott County Veterinary Clinics, Steve Skierman, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, Clark's Pump and Shop, People's Bank, TMMK, Domino's, Ozer Paint and Flooring, DMK CPA. Tonight's player of the game is sponsored by Time to Shine Car Wash. Is free throw.
Sometimes in coaching and dealing with kids, obviously you want to tell them they do a good job when they do a good job, but part of your role as a coach is, get everything you can get out of them. And, I see the growth in Jeremy on the court basketball. I still think he's got more.
Oh, yeah, his ceiling is high. And
I still think he'll continue to grow as a basketball player over the next month.
But he's really improved his free throw shooting. He missed 2 there, but that's been a noticeable improvement this year out of him over last. And he's consistent offense. You're going to get your 8 points, 8 rebounds out of him every night, but you're right. I think he can step that up even more and do senior year perhaps what his older brother did.
Well, I think he'll continue to improve this year because I think he's feeling more and more confident. You feel, the better you're going to be.
In one breath, I would say he doesn't have the outside game that Taryn did, but he hit that 3 tonight, and you could see flashes of it. So we're hopeful to see that in the next season and a half. Wilhite to Hamilton, 2:12 remaining. Middleton will take a 3. It's in and out. Rebound Haynes, and it will go to Douglas. Clock stops, 2:04 to play. Broncos are going to improve to 11-1 overall, 2-0 in the district. It'll be their 9th consecutive win. Cards will drop to 2-2. They had a loss to Henry Clay back in the first week of the season, and the 2 wins this week over Bryan Station and Sayre. So they've seen everybody. A second round. Steal by Wilhite. The little things out there. So much fun to watch. Throws the ball away there. There was Haynes. Mitts on it. Barrett carries it. He was thinking about trying to do a bounce pass, and he didn't have anybody there to catch it, so he palmed it. 1:40 to play.
73-52 Douglas.
That's where it stands. We're getting down to the 90-second mark. Go home and watch the 4th quarter of the Georgetown game of football. Strange to be going home from a basketball, but that's where we're at.
Right. I know I went last Sunday afternoon to watch the Austin Governors play their first game, and they play again this Sunday. And then, the NEI guys, a lot of them are playing on Fridays.
Yep, a lot of FCS teams are playing. Back in Miles Stump, Maine getting ready for their season.
Hamilton makes the first one.
Jeremy Hamilton's had a good night. I think we're going to give him the Time to Shine Car Wash player of the game. He's up to 15 points. That's probably one of his better offensive nights of the season. Misses that one, so that's 1 out of the last 4 from the line. It's a 20-point game. A little less concentration in a game like that where you're down, I think. Steal by Wilhite, or an attempt. Nope, it is going to stay with Scott County as it goes off of Barrett. 5 nights for Scott County. They'll make it 4 out of 6 tomorrow. teams, barring any more COVID issues, are going to be busy down the stretch. Everybody just trying to get as many games in as they can. Richardson with a nice spin, can't get it to fall. And the rebound comes down to Sidney Stewart. 1 minute to play. 20-point lead for Douglas. Bounce pass inside. Stewart guarded by Richardson, starter in there, but a lot of young kids, and they're just running the floor as much as all the guys before them. Harris with an easy layup. Drive the baseline for Mosby, a chance for an and one.
Playing and cheering for him.
Absolutely. You want your bench to be engaged.
Because, win or lose tonight for both teams, you got to go back to practice of all, your entire team to go out there and run effective practices.
We've seen it this year with Scott County. You're only, I don't know who those guys are going to be on any given night. So 77-56. They're going to try one more three-pointer. It's no good. Rebound. We're in the final 10 seconds. Nick's going to dish it to Will. It to Mosby, who's going to take an academic three and get it to go down. That'll give him 12 points on the night, but it will only cosmetically change the final score. They haven't put it up on the board yet, but I believe it'll be 77-59. As Bill Holland just said over the PA, we'll be back here tomorrow night for Scott County and Great Crossing. We hope you will join us here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network. 7:30, the starting time for the varsity, but you can check out the freshman and JV games as well. For the game, sponsored by Time to Shine Car Wash, will go to Jeremy Hamilton, 16 points. I'm interested to see his rebound total, but certainly a good offensive night from him.
And that's good to see, as we talk. But Jeremy needed to step up and score some tonight because Grigsby Richardson needed.
They really focused on them.
Good job, to Jeremy's credit, stepping up and as he had tonight.
Mosby, as we said, had 12. Richardson 14. So good balance. 6 from Middleton, 4 from Grigsby, 2 from Haynes, 2 from Glenn, 2 from Quarterman, 13 out of his 18. And that did it. Julius Scarce really took off in the third quarter, and Barrett made hay down low in the fourth. So they shot it well from all points. I guarantee you they 50% for the game, as you said they were at the half. And that will do it for tonight, as we won't belabor the stats any more than that. It's a Douglas night. 77-59, the Broncos defeat the Cardinals. Scott County will get back on the bike tomorrow night, get back on the horse, and try to win that Battle of the Birds. Great Crossing has been playing well, as you mentioned. Scott County, of course, discounting tonight, had won 6 in a row. So we expect that to be a great one. Please join us, 7:30. Thanks for joining us, Coach. And good to have you. We'll do this again sometime, I'm sure.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to thank you, even though, I know you don't really necessarily want the thanks, but just so many of us out there following you on Twitter, keeping up what's going on with all the sporting events. So the next time you're tired, you don't feel like doing it, griping or you're complaining, I'm voting for you a raise and keep on doing it, please.
I appreciate you, my man. It means a lot. And I wouldn't want to be doing it anywhere else on the planet, I'll tell you, than Georgetown, Kentucky. For Jim McKee, for James Scoggin, for Mike Scoggin, for DT Wells, I'm merely Cal Oaks saying good night, God bless. Your final score one more time. Frederick Douglass 77, Scott County 59. See you tomorrow night.